and gentlemen, to another edition of Nightline here on WGGS Channel 16. Thank you for joining us tonight. A little bit different content for you tonight. Hope it blesses you and you learn a little bit something tonight. I am Gray Sutherland. I'm usually behind that camera, or 20 feet behind that wall. First time at the desk. Somehow I talked my way into the host position tonight, but it's for a good cause, and we're going to tell you why in just a little bit. I'm going to start things off with one of our two scriptures tonight. Yes, we got two. We'll go to Mark 10, 13 through 14 first, when it says in the ESV version, "Some people were bringing little children to him so he might touch them, but his disciples rebuked them. When Jesus saw it, he was indignant and said to them, 'Let the little children come to me. Don't stop them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these.'" And that applies to tonight's topic as well as does Hebrews 13:16, where it says, "Do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God." So keep those verses in mind here while we go to our first song of the evening. Mr. Tarrance Phillips is going to be singing "Open the Eyes of My Heart."
Open the eyes of my heart, I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart, I want to see you. Yes, I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, "Holy, holy, holy." Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart, I want to see you. Yes, I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart, I want to see you. Yes, I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, "Holy, holy, holy." High and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, "Holy, holy, holy." Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. High and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. So holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you.
Thank you, Tarrance. It's always great to hear from you, and he's going to be part of the special event we're going to be talking about in just a minute. First, though, we're going to hear from our prayer partners, which we have tonight, and you might know this gentleman, Mr. Larry Finch, has a special announcement for everyone out there tonight.
Hello, fellow prayer partners. I'm Larry Finch, host of the Prayer Vigil. We meet here on the first Saturday of the month from 10:30 to 12:30. I'm here to invite you to come and join us, and let's pray together.
Thank you, Larry, for that special announcement about our prayer vigil. Usually the first Saturday of every month, 10:30 to 12:30, right here in the studio. We pray for our community, our nation, people that work here, work everywhere else, no matter what have you. And you can get in touch with them, 244-1616. Phone number will be at the bottom of your screen. So give a call if you need a moment of prayer or anything of that nature. Sometimes we all go through hard times, and we need some help, and we need to help others. And in a way, that's what tonight's show is about, because I'm hosting tonight to talk to you about the 43rd annual Lawrence County Shrine Race in memory of Fred Cogswell. And tonight, I've brought with me two esteemed gentlemen from the Lawrence County Shrine Club. First up, the current club treasurer and man of so many hats, Mr. Randy Hillmann. Randy, it's good to have you here tonight, and I noticed you brought the nice bright red shirt that also has the, I'll call you the Master Chef pork skin cooker.
Yes, sir. That's one of the many things we do at the Lawrence County Shrine Club. And I'm not, you mentioned esteemed gentlemen. Have you got a couple other people out there? I'm not. We're very glad you're here. Very glad you invited us to come tonight.
Well, I do count you as esteemed because I also, you said you had to do a little bit of arm twisting, but you managed to convince Mr. Charles Reece to also come up here. Good to have you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be here with you as well.
Now, Charles, you, speaking of many hats, you also like to wear several of them. And what's the anagram on your hat stand for right now?
The SAASMC is I was the president of the South Atlantic Shrine Motor Corps Association. And I'm also now the current treasurer of that association.
So a lot of time taken up in between jobs, right?
A lot of time in between my enjoying retirement and a lot of parade work as well. So we do a lot of shrine parades.
We'll talk about what all the Shriners get up to and get into here in a minute. But Mr. Randy, why don't you tell us right now a little bit about you and what your role is within the Shrine Club?
Okay. Well, I'm I am from Lawrence, or I live in Lawrence. Originally from, well, grew up in near Raleigh, North Carolina, but I've been a upstate resident since the late '80s. Lived in Lawrence for about the last 20 years or so. I am currently the treasurer of Lawrence County Shrine Club. Probably the treasurer for life. Can't seem to find anybody else to take it. I managed to talk Mr. Charles here into doing it 1 year so I could be the president a couple years ago. So I am a past president of the club. I'm actually late to Shrindom and Masonry. I've only been a Shriner since about 2009. But my family has been involved for quite a while. My wife was actually a Shriner's patient through much of her childhood, and she tells everybody. I mean, we've heard that the Shriners Hospital doesn't save lives, but it improves them. Well, she corrects people because she's pretty sure, and other people have said if it weren't for Shriners, she probably wouldn't have lived very long. Absolutely. And so she has a little bit of mobility issues, but she's lived a full and productive life. We've got a 26-year-old son, and so we owe just about everything to the Shriners and Shriners hospitals. Her dad, my father-in-law, became a Shriner not long after she became involved in the hospitals to give back. And I always planned to do that, to give back. It just took me a while. So, but I have been in it probably 15 years or so, and I happened to agree to be treasurer one time, and once you do that,
you're kind of stuck with it, aren't you?
Yeah. But I enjoy it, and it's certainly one of the ways I give back, and there's a lot, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, but there's a lot of ways that you can be involved in Shriners, and that the Shriners can be helpful to the community.
There sure are, and we will be getting to those. Charles, what do you have going on?
Man, I spend a lot of time working with the Shrine as well. I have 5 grandchildren, and the youngest one is a 2-year-old little girl who has a special place in our hearts. Just like the Shrine kids do. Those kids at that hospital, everything that you do in this organization is for those children in that hospital, and we take that serious. But I spend a lot of time working with the Shrine and different organizations as well within the Shrine. And I really spend a lot of time doing that since I'm now retired, and I really enjoy that.
And you have a lot of ground to cover because you're the area representative for both the Lawrence and Woodruff areas.
That's right. I travel probably 3 to 4 nights out of the week, every week somewhere to some club, and I try to represent Lawrence and Woodruff Shrine Club to the best of my ability, and give them certain representation that I go to all of the meetings with the Shrine Temple and all of those kind of things. So I am their voice, and I try to make sure I'm there to hear their issues and talk about their problems or their great things they've done.
I think you've done a good job covering a lot of ground, and the time that you've had here. So it sounds like you've been doing a lot of good work out there for everybody.
I try to. This will be my 30th year. 2025 be my 30th year. So I've been around it a while.
Randy, how long you've been involved?
Oh, that's the thing. I started kind of late. It's been about 15 years that I've been in the Shriners.
Well, that's still got a little bit ways to go. Try and catch up.
Especially when he's a lot older than I am.
Well, Randy, talking about some of the ways that the Shriners help out within the community, tell us about some of those ways.
Well, the primary one, of course, is the Shrine hospitals, and I hope I'm giving the right statistics, but I believe there's 22 Shriners hospitals in the world. I know there's one in Mexico. I believe I think there's one somewhere further away, international. But we're fortunate to have one in Greenville, and so most of our effort and fundraising goes to support the Greenville Shriners Hospital, and that's primarily the way it is. But I mean, we'll do a few other things occasionally that to help other, I know that like the Shrine Temple is and there again, Shriners are broken up in temples. Our Lawrence County Shrine Club is part of the Hejaz Temple, which is basically the upstate, and they're responsible for transporting patients to the hospitals, and so that's probably one of the biggest things the temples do is they go out and for patients that can't get to the hospital, can't meet their appointments otherwise, they have a group called the Road Runners that will do that. So and there again, I think you'll see Shriners in the parades. That may be the place where some people, if they don't know that much about Shriners, they may see them. That may be the primary place where they see Shriners with these funny hats. And I mean, we will certainly help out any cause in the community that's a good one, and with of course the Shriners Hospital being our main philanthropy.
And if you're wondering where the Shriners Hospital happens to be, it's right off of Highway 29 headed toward the toll road 185. It's in that general vicinity where they're talking about. If you haven't been there, I got to go there one time with a friend of mine. He had been a Shriners patient for years, and to walk into there and see the staff that was helping the kids, it was those kids were smiling, and that obviously meant a lot to them and their parents, the families as a whole.
Yes, sir.
So one more question before we hit another song coming up here in a little bit. What do you, and you mentioned it, Randy, so a lot of people know y'all from the parades. Oh, there's the guys in the funny hats riding the small cars around. But what besides parades gets you all involved? Or Charles?
One thing we just did is there's a place down in Clinton, which is in Lawrence County, called Whitten Center. And we just went down there and represented the shrine for those people who were shut-ins down there. So it was a pleasure for them to actually be able to come out from the dorms and the homes that they live in there, just to see somebody come through there who actually cares about them. So that's one thing we do. Gosh, there's just so many. I mean, everything a Shriner can pick up and put in his hand, be it a candy bar to pork skins to whatever it is, anything a Shriner can do to raise money for that hospital, that's what that Shriner's going to do.
Nobody likes being left alone, not having any family to report to, so it's good works y'all are doing. And we'll be talking a little bit about the shrine race when we come back after this song. Mr. Tarrance Phillips is going to be coming back with us, and he's going to be singing Doesn't Matter.
Now I know it's been a long, hard road, at least 5 years or more before we walk out that door. But we vowed to stay through thick and thin, the good and the bad, our love will never end. So many counted us out, but God, He counted us in. So it doesn't really matter what people say. It doesn't really matter what people think. It doesn't really matter what people do. The only thing that matters is that I love you. As I look back on our wedding time, you walked down the aisle, I started to cry. The most beautiful girl in the world, I can't believe my eyes. So many counted us out, but God, He counted us in. So it doesn't really matter what people say. It doesn't really matter what people think. It doesn't really matter what people do. The only thing that matters is that I love you. No, it doesn't really matter what people say. It doesn't really matter what people think. It doesn't really matter what people do. The only thing that matters is that I love you. Good things still come to those who will wait. So don't hesitate, don't hesitate. We still have a few mountains to climb. I will be yours, you will be mine. So it doesn't really matter what people say. It doesn't really matter what people think. It doesn't really matter what people do. The only thing that matters is that I love you. No, it doesn't really matter what people say. It doesn't really matter what people think. It doesn't really matter what people do. The only thing that matters is that I love you. The only thing that matters is that I love you. The only thing that matters is that I love you.
Thank you, Tarrance. That is another beautiful, wonderful song you have for us. And folks, you may not know it or not, but about a month ago, I politely, might have begged a little bit, but got him to come down to the Lawrence County Speedway to sing live and in person the Star Spangled Banner, the national anthem for the United States. He did such a wonderful job that I asked for a recording. I got it, and so now Tarrance will be singing the rest of the season at Lawrence. Now here tonight we're going to be talking about the 43rd annual Fred Cogswell Memorial Shrine Race, but first I managed to get my hands on a little clip from the past. This was about 2020, I think. Yes, it is a charity event, but it's also a race, our biggest race of the season. This will be a front-wheel drive finish from that year. But before they get that queued up back there, gentlemen, this is named after Fred Cogswell. And Fred, for many a year, ran a track at Lawrence. And Charles, I think you might have a pretty good story about him.
I had met Mr. Fred on many occasions. I used to work for a guy down in Lawrence as a teenager, worked on a dirt track race car and done a lot of racing at Lawrence Racetrack with him. And Mr. Fred was always he was a great guy. People who met him just never really would forget Mr. Fred. We carried our monster trucks down there one time. I never will forget, to a race, and those little monster trucks are little go-karts, pure white bodies, just as white as the snow, and it took us about the next 9 months to get them clean.
That sounds about right.
After all that red dirt, it takes about 9 months to get them clean. But Mr. Fred let us out on that racetrack, and man, we just had a ball on that racetrack. He was a good guy.
And from all the stories I've heard from many people, Fred Cogswell is a man who was very loved and is not going to be forgotten for a long time to come. I think they got that front-wheel drive finish video ready, so this is a little taste of what you'll be in for on Saturday night. As the field through turn 3, green flag is out, and we're going to go 3 wide off turn 4 with Blaze Strickland in the middle. Here comes Cody Page down on the inside. Strickland keeps his foot in it. Harris maintains third. Strickland back to fourth. It will be the last time here on the white flag. One more lap to go. Mason Mack
with Travis Jamison. 2/10 is the gap. Here comes Mack. Big wiggle out of the 94. Jamison right on his back bumper. Down the back straightaway into turn 3. Do we have a move? Here goes Jamison up to the back bumper. He gets loose. Jamison down to the inside. Mack hooks him. Jamison, both of them into the wall. And here comes Justin Harris at the line.
Needless to say, that was a pretty huge night for Justin Harris picking up the win in the Shrine Race. And this year, gentlemen, we have the Carolina Clash Super Late Models. They're back for, I believe, the first time since 2021 when Zach Mitchell won that one, I think.
I believe that's right.
We also had the GM Performance 602 series. That's going to be a good show because if I go right down here into my little bag of tricks, A2 Exterminators, this is a winner's hat from 2021. They have thrown up a $1,000 bonus to the winner, so it's $2,000 to win now for the GM Performance Series. And lest I forget the Destination Power Sports Thunder Bomber. So Randy, pretty good card altogether, along with I think it's the Sharp Mini Late Models, 4 cylinders, and there's one I'm forgetting, and they're probably not going to like that I forgot it.
Crown Vic?
No.
Front wheel drive is off. Okay. I can't remember who it is, and I didn't write the divisions that were coming down, but it's a good card I think we have.
Yes, sir. And I think typically the super late model or the featured division, whatever it is, every year, and this year it's the Carolina Clash. They're usually somewhere in the middle, I think. So we certainly encourage you to come to the racetrack and see all the racing, but you know, if you really just want to come to see the biggest ones, you know, you won't have to stay till 2 in the morning. We'll be there because we've got to stay till the end, collect all the money, and make sure everything, you know, 'cause obviously the money's going to great cause. So, but I think I believe the racing actually will. Of course, you'd probably know better than me. I think the racing will actually start somewhere around 7:30.
Yes, it's got the pre-race event starting at 6:30, which I believe y'all usually do a little bit of a speech and help recognize those who have been impactful for the Shriners within recent times, right? I believe, right?
Yes, sir. And this year, being the Fred Cogswell Memorial Shrine Race, and of course, Mr. Fred passed away this past February, and we've already heard a little bit about him. He was a great proponent of the Shriners, and he basically insisted or made it part of the contract. Anybody that is promoting a race at the track has to conduct a Shrine Race every year, and so we couldn't thank him enough for having that provision. And when he passed away, it made perfect sense for this to be a memorial for him, and we will be presenting we'll be recognizing his family there at the event. His son Michael actually was a classmate of my wife, so that's
nice.
And my late father-in-law, he was a good friend of Mr. Cogswell's, and so we very much want any of you that have been to the Lawrence County Speedway over the years and know of Mr. Cogswell, please come out and show your respects to him.
Now I also borrowed several things from the racetrack to help decor the set, if you will, but also got the award. David, if you can put that up on the screen for everybody, the award for Fred Cogswell that was presented by the Shriners, the one with the there you go. This is the award that was presented to Fred. I'm not sure exactly when, but that's how important it was to him. And so what you thought of him and what he thought of the Shriners.
Mm-hmm.
So with this being this is the 43rd annual Shrine Race. This event has been going on for a long time. I think it was, according to the Hall of Fame wall we have on the staircase, Freddie Crawford won the inaugural Shrine Race, and that was many moons ago.
1982.
1982. Mm-hmm. And how long have y'all been involved with the action of the Shrine Race?
Well, there again, I didn't grow up in Laurens, and I haven't been a Shriner, but 10 or 15 years. But I've been involved with it ever since I've been in the club, and we probably had some folks that are in the club that were around that first time. A few of them, you may see a couple of them there. The gentleman that'll be running our souvenir T-shirt stand. One of them's a past potentate, Noble George Thompson. He probably was here. He was very involved back in the previous Shrine Race. And Noble Gene Norris has probably been here that long. So those two gentlemen probably have been here all 43 years.
Charles, since you jumped in to the waters of the Shrine Race, how have you seen this event grow?
Oh man, I was just sitting here thinking while y'all were talking about that. I was a blooming senior from Laurens High School in 1982, and I was at that race. And I've been at a lot of them since. Not every one of them, but almost every one of them. And you can just see it every year. It seems like it does more and more and more and more and more. What I love to see is I love to see the crowds. And I love to see the kids that come out. They just love to watch those race cars go around that track. They'll stand up along the fence and just holler and wave at those drivers. And the poor driver in the car can't hear them, but those kids love to stand at that fence and holler for those drivers.
I know the mini late models, they might be able to hear a little bit of something because they have that roof flap, and that's the way I got told by a couple of drivers. This is how we recognize the fans. We pop that flap up every now and then, and that's kind of a way to wave. So that's a nice interaction, one that you wouldn't usually think of.
I'm glad to see this race back on a Saturday night as well.
And that's another thing. It used to be for a long time on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, I'm glad to see it back on Saturday night. It allows more folks and more chances for the parents to bring their kids out and not have to worry about getting home and getting dinner and homework done and everything else on a Tuesday night.
And tell you about the impact of this race, this is another thing that I borrowed from the racetrack. The picture of one of the money checks where we raised $92,000 in one night. That is from probably when the gates opened about 5 p.m. till the racing was over about midnight, 1 a.m. I think we had a little bit of a lengthy night there. But there you see the check. We have one of the featured kids and the photo from the presentation at the Shriners Hospital. So $92,000 in one night, gentlemen. Pretty good number to post up.
Yes.
Very good.
And I will tell you that we've actually had a couple that were even more than that. We were, and it's all based on an event that happens one night, but we're actually collecting money.
That's right.
For many months up to the most of that money. I mean, we make a good bit of money from the race itself, but by far the most of what we can donate or the proceeds that we take in are from sponsors. And this year we've got over 100 sponsors, and we collect, and we have, I see you're about to pull out.
Do you mean, well, this is last year's shirt, but
right.
Take a look at this, folks. There's about a lot of them on the back of this shirt, and I have read off of this to announce the sponsors for the Shrine Race. So this isn't just a little show. This is quite the big show, as some people would say. We're going to come back with a little bit more information about the Shrine Race and what you can do to help out your local Shriners Club, but I'm going to send it back to Tarrance Phillips for a little while. He sings Breathe.
This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me. This is my daily bread. This is my daily bread. Your very word spoken to me, and I'm desperate for you. And I'm lost without you. This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me. This is my daily bread. This is my daily bread. Your very word spoken to me, and I'm desperate for you. And I'm lost without you. Oh Lord, I worship you. Oh God, I worship you. I lift my voice and praise you. I lift my voice to praise you. This is the air I breathe. I'm desperate for you. Oh God, oh Lord, I'm desperate for you.
Thank you, Tarrance. Another wonderful job there. Tarrance Phillips, locally out of nearby Duncan, I do believe. So thank you, Tarrance, for what you're doing here at the station and what you're doing for me at the racetrack. It's a lot of good work, and it is well appreciated. Well, we're heading into the final lap, so to speak, in racing terminology. Not too much longer left with the Shriners. Randy Hillmann, Charles Reece. Randy, along with some of the numbers that you've got, and along with ticket sales and T-shirts and what have you, what else? How else do the Shriners bring in the charity work at the track and elsewhere, for that matter?
Well, at the track, of course, we make money from sponsors, from the entrance fees, and but we will have several merchandise tables available. One of one of the things obviously will be our souvenir T-shirts, which lists all our sponsors. We are locally famous, at least, for making fried pork skins.
Okay, locally famous, a little bit more than that.
Okay.
When you gave me, when you sent up a bag of the dill pickle flavored pork skins, those were gone in 2 days. I ate a whole bag in 2 days. So a little bit more than locally famous.
Well, do appreciate that. We might be able to. We've had trouble with our, I don't know, maybe supply chain problems with the dill pickle seasoning. So we may be able to sneak some of that in there.
I would love it if you did.
We'll have several. We'll have several flavors. We'll be selling that. We typically have a raffle. This year we also have one. It is a rifle raffle. Say that 3 times fast.
Rifle raffle.
It's going to be a Marlin Model 336 30-30 caliber. I've been told that's a popular, somewhat hard to get one. So come on out. We'll be selling those tickets for $5 each, or five for 20. Okay, I got to get my math right. And it'll be given away that night, so you don't have to wait. We of course will take donations at any amounts at any time. Now it's a little late to get on our souvenir T-shirt as a sponsor this year, but if a viewer out there wants to make a donation, we'll certainly accept it. We'll include it in anything that we pass on to the hospital, and we'll certainly do that. And probably the best way, I'll go ahead and say it now, probably the best way to get in touch with one of us is that we have the Lawrence County Shrine Club Facebook page. You can send a message through that. I'll see that and would certainly be able to get back in touch with you. But we'll have the raffle, we'll have the T-shirts, the pork skins, might have a 50-50. I'll need to talk to folks at the track to see if we can do that. And a lot of people just make donations there. They don't necessarily want anything back because they know the good cause that it's going for. And
that's very awesome to see, because people will just literally walk up, hand over $20-30 and say, just keep it.
Right.
Just keep it. There you go.
That happens a lot. I do want to mention, just so I don't forget and we don't run out of time, and I wouldn't have. I certainly invite any Shriners that are seeing this that want to come volunteer, that we don't already know about. Please come on out. We'll have there's always a place where you can be used. We'll have a special place for Shriners and volunteers to sign in. You won't have to wait in the very long line for ticket sales.
And it will be a line.
Yeah, for ticket sales, we'll have a special place. I think Mr. Charles is going to be. He's going to be he's going to be manning that. And we do ask even for volunteers to pay the smaller entry fee of $20, but that gets you anywhere. You don't have to pay the extra to get in the pits, because it's not fair to a person to pay extra just because we need them to work in the pits. So please come on out. And our work gets done pretty early. The hard part of it. So if you stick around, you'll be able to watch most of the racing, and you'll certainly enjoy that. So we invite any Shriner, and we've got a few other, like I know the local post of the American Legion will bring some folks to help.
Yeah, this is going to bring in a lot of people, and trying to get some more attention to it, to of course help raise money for the Shriners and what they're doing, because this just isn't a local thing. It's countywide, dare I say regional wide. Of course, I'd include the upstate in that, and at least Georgia and North Carolina, the foothills of those states, because this is well, we've talked about the Shriners at the local level, and we've mentioned them at the national and a couple of spots overseas as well. And so the one question I wanted to get to, and I think we've mentioned about every reason why, but just in case someone still isn't convinced out there, why should, maybe someone does, well, hey, this is my first time seeing a shrine race or hearing about a charity event like this. Why should people come out?
If you have ever looked into the eyes of a child who is in that hospital in Greenville, or any of the 22 hospitals in North America, if you've ever been into one and looked one of those children in the eyes and realized that you are their help, you are those hands that are providing what they need to get them on another level, whatever that level might be, that's the next step for them. If you ever see one of those children, you'll understand. It's kind of like looking into one of your own children's eyes when you give them something that they have wanted or needed, and they show that appreciation to you, not by speaking a word, just by looking back into your eyes. If you ever see that, then you will understand why a Shriner does what he does and why men join the Shrine.
There you go, folks. That's pretty solid reason right there.
And if I can add, I mean, obviously the humanitarian reason is great, but it's also some outstanding racing. If you're just a race fan, and you want to come see some outstanding race, and they call it the Darlington of Dirt. You'll come out, you'll see some great racing, and any amount of money you spend there will be a portion of it at least will be supporting a great cause.
Before we hit our last song here and get ready to wrap it all up, Randy, I want to ask you, how would you like to see the Shrine race grow in future events? What would you like? Would you like to see something done differently? But how would you like to see it continue to build up steam and grow?
I mean, obviously to continue to get the crowds we do, to continue to bring in the sponsors we do. We've gone up and down a little bit on our on the amount that we bring in, and it's really just how much effort we as Shriners can put in, because honestly all of us are busy, and it's sometimes hard to devote enough time to make it as good of a race as it can be. Some of it takes care of itself. We decided to early on to go big this year. We haven't had the Carolina Clash or a super late model for a few years, mainly to try to reduce the purse so we didn't have to bring in so much money to begin with. But this year we decided to go big, and we're trusting the Lord that'll pay off, and we'll actually spend a little bit more up front to gain a little bit more in the back. And I believe we as Shriners just need to put the effort in. We need to try to reach out, like this, and if you're a corporation or somebody that is looking for a way to spend your charitable donations, you're looking for a way, get in touch with us. We will certainly give you as much recognition as we can, and we will and it'll certainly go into the right place. So,
absolutely, folks, it's a great cause to help support, and we certainly couldn't do it without you. And speaking of which, Tarrance Phillips is going to sing our last song for the show, Without You.
Just like the prodigal son, I went astray, not realizing the price I'd have to pay for choosing the world over Christ. I almost lost my life, but it gave me a chance to get it right. And Lord, I couldn't make it without you. You look beyond my past, and you made my life brand new. Yes, Lord, I couldn't make it without you. You're the lover of my soul, and I'll never let you go. I couldn't make it without you. Make it without you. There's nothing else that can take your place, and I truly thank for your amazing grace. I'll never understand the love you had for me. And Lord, I couldn't make it without you. Lord, you look beyond my past and you made my life brand new. Yes, Lord, I couldn't make it without you. You're the lover of my soul, and I'll never let you go. And Lord, you are the best thing that's happened to me. Yes, Lord, you are the best thing that's happened to me. Yes, Lord, you are the best thing that's happened to me. Yes, Lord, you are the best thing that's happened to me. And Lord, I couldn't make it without you. You look beyond my past and you made my life brand new. Yes, Lord, I couldn't make it without you. You're the lover of my soul, and I'll never let you go. I couldn't make it without you. Make it without you. I couldn't make it without you. Make it without you.
Ladies and gentlemen, closing minutes here for tonight's Nightline. I want to thank you for joining myself, Mr. Randy, Mr. Charles, the Shriners organization for allotting their time to come out here. Also, don't forget, folks, want to remind you, this Saturday, the 43rd Annual Fred Cogsdale Memorial Shrine Race presented by the Lawrence County Shrine Club. Saturday, August 3rd, 2024, featuring the Carolina Clash, GM Performance 602 Series, Destination Power Sports, Monster Thunder Bombers. Pit gates open at 5, grandstands open at 6. Pre-race events start at 6:30. We'll put cars on track by 7 p.m. Gentlemen, I want to thank y'all so much for coming out, and y'all be sure to tell Mr. President Chris Holtzcall he missed a good one.
We will definitely do that.
I want to send his regrets. He and so anything we said wrong, it's his fault. But,
so Chris, I think they just put it on you. But gentlemen, thank y'all. This has been a good one. We've had a lot of prayer requests come in for tonight, and gentlemen, there's a lot in here asking for the hospital procedures being done. A lot of healing need to be done as well. Some nerve issues out there. So if you would, we'll just offer a quick prayer before we sign off here. And Father God, we come before you here tonight. We are thankful for what the days that you give us. And we ask for your healing and guidance over these prayer requests here tonight. All this healing, all these nerves that need healing, stomach sickness. There's a lot going on in the world, and we need your help to help set it right. So we lift these up to you. We lift up the Shriners to you and their good works. Please watch over them, especially this weekend as they go about their business. And in your Son's strong and holy name, we all pray. Amen.
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 So we thank you for calling in here on Nightline. And gentlemen, one more time, one more plug for the Shrine Race. Come on out. Come on out August 3rd. There's plenty to see, plenty to do.
Yes, sir.
We couldn't do it without you. We need you.
Well, I just sit there and, or in this case, I sit here and talk. But it's been, this for a first time in the chair, I think it's been a good one. Couldn't have picked a better bunch to come out.
I'm glad we got to be here for that.
Yeah. We witnessed history.
Yes, you did. I also want to give a special shout out to Justin Bryson. He made this wonderful graphic that has been up all night long. David, you want to throw that one? There you go. That one, he made that on his own, of his own fruition, sent it to me, and now here we are on television. So thank you, Justin. It means a lot. And as we close out tonight's Nightline, we'll send you back to regular programming very soon. But just wanted to bring this very special event to your attention, and it's one that obviously deserves your attention. And if you can make it out Saturday, it would be greatly appreciated.
You want to give the address of the
435 Racetrack Road, Lawrence, South Carolina. I forget the zip code though, but I think if you can type that in, you'll get it. We thank you for joining us here on Nightline. Folks, be well, be good, be safe. We'll see you next time.